Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime! This is not how courts work. It's not. That's not how this... A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today! I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah! It's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We tried this man for his crime of 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned! December 28, 2:24 PM, District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Dot dot. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you killed your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, detective. But it is truth. I deserve to be punished. I deserve to be punished like a bad boy. Punish me over and over again, Daddy. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy, just crazy. Question mark. Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Marge Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. Edgeworth, you're full of crap. You're wrong about yourself. You don't know anything. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. It's not real life, it's just fantasy. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right! December 28, 2:20 PM, District Court, Courtroom number 3. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DO6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth, I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. Please what? The DO6 incident. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream, I remember it to this day. That's all. A single gunshot. And until now you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator had ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. I mean, it's not a very good safety, is it? If the safety turns itself off when it falls out of the holster. And you picked it up, what happened next? I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. A moment later there was a single gunshot, then a scream. Is it in here? The weapon was fired twice. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor, unfortunately you don't. Look at this file one more time. This file is carrying the whole trial. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I do. I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? I mean, I can look at it right here, right? It's page 2, right? Victim data. Victim data! Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly, the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shots? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice, however we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with the incident. Nani? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Yes! Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. Nani? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Owned! Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to the incident? Yeah, the photo. So the photo, the one bullet hits here, one bullet hits here. There's 2 bullets. What does that say? Right. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. ... So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please. Please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. Haha! As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. ... I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DO6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. The case summary page. That's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. What? If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist! The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Order, I will have order. ... Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? No, that's not. Hold on. I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No! Wait a minute, hold on, let's... No clues found on the scene. No, because if... No clues found on the scene. But you said you'd do it, Nick! You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photographs, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I mean, they have been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Stupid drama. Nick! Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. Oh no! He's accepted the guilt. ... Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today right here. Right now! Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank, I can't find the words. Mr. Wright. Do I have an objection? Still bears clear ballistic markings. Still bears clear ballistic markings. Is it that gun? We haven't checked the ballistic markings on the bullet. Objection! Your Honor! I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Oof. Nick! I don't know, his case is perfect. No, it's not. Oh no! Gah! It must exist! The second bullet! What? What did you just say? Nothing! The second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers for Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor! The second bullet, it existed. Nani? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. Of course it exists. It's fired from the gun. You just can't find it. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet, but why? Huh. First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? The murderer had to find it. Of course there was a need. That's why they took it. Bah, what possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is... the bullet would be proof. Maybe they thought that the bullet would use as proof. Proof? It was a special bullet, so they took... No, god damn it. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh. Why would they take only one of the two shots fired? Oh, right. God damn it. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? I'm gonna have to penalize you. Are you serious? The murderer didn't need it. No, but they needed it. They needed it because they were a perfectionist, so they needed to find it. Because how is that not needed? It's because the murderer is a perfectionist, and they needed to find it. That's what I thought I was gonna say, but no, it's actually no. They didn't need it, but they were a perfectionist, so they found it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? God, the dialogue options. I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah, the murderer had no reason to take the bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Okay. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. I was thinking crazy. If you think like a crazy person, if you're a perfectionist, you have to take it. That's what I was thinking. You know, this game is almost good. It is, it's almost good. It's just not quite there. I guess it's the same adventure game problems, right? You know what the answer is, you just don't know what buttons the game wants you to press to get to that answer. Like, you know what the answer is. Alright. Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance... For instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have had to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? No. Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder, the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Well, Von Karma took a long vacation after the case. Yes, I guess that's how it would work. Yes, this is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. Whoever wrote the story is an idiot. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from the elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. This is the stupidest story I've ever seen in my life. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. Grasping. Grasping. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey Nick! Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow! It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean... it could only mean one thing. This is so... This is even worse than what I thought it was. I thought it was Von Karma being a perfectionist. That he had to like clean up the space before leaving. This is even worse. It could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma! Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. Oh, no, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Say it! Your Honor! There is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? Von... my hands are shaking. No, just say it. Why are you so bad? The what? Von Karma! Von Karma! You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Bah! You don't object? I see no need why honor is this ridiculous outburst with my objection. Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it! I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me, have him testify. Nick! Let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Grr, nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane! No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait, what does that mean? The bullet is still in his body. That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove I was shot? Court record. Evidence to prove he was shot. Oh yeah, metal detector. The metal detector, really? What if you took the dog, or if you took the other one, or the fishing pole? The metal detector is the only one that actually works? Show evidence!